Hi, my name is Ayez Shaukat-Fonseka, but I'm more fondly known as my pro wrestling name, Shaukat, the Prophet of Pain, or the Nusantara Prince. I'm a professional wrestler. I've been doing this for 7 years, and this is my story.
The final move in this match, the Prophet of Pain. Here we go!
Growing up, I've always wanted to be a pro wrestler. I would always play wrestling with my brother. I would always play wrestling with my friends at school, and even my bolster on my bed. And it's something that I've always wanted to try to become. So in primary school, when teacher used to ask like, Ayez, what do you want to be when you grow up? I would always say that I want to become a pro wrestler. And of course, like everyone in the classroom would always laugh at me because it's kind of a silly dream here in Malaysia because there's no such industry here in Malaysia. Then one fine day in 2013, this legendary WWE superstar called Booker T came down to Malaysia, and TV3 had a contest. If you win this contest, you get to have lunch with him, and I was the winner, the lucky winner for the contest. So I sat down for a lunch with Booker T, and I asked him this question. I asked him like, I'm sorry sir, I need to ask you, I really want to become a pro wrestler, but there's no such thing here in Malaysia. There's not even a pro wrestling school. And that's when he told me, he said like, dude, if you want to become a pro wrestler, if you cannot afford to go out to the States and achieve your dreams, then you will have to be the one to start it here in Malaysia. So that was when it kind of like kicked me, like, you know what, he's right. If I don't start it here, it will never happen. So I need to be the first person to start it here in Malaysia. So that was when I took all the skills that I have, being a stunt director, because I'm in the film industry. I'm also a stunt director and action director. So started my own pro wrestling school in Malaysia, started training a whole bunch, and we used a syllabus developed by Dr. Tom Pritchard, who was the trainer of The Rock in WWE. And from there, it kind of grew. It goes to show that you can never dream too big, no matter where you are. So I kept the dream alive, and all the way back in 2013 was when I decided finally that, you know what, let's just drop everything. I've graduated, I've got my diploma with first degrees honors. Now it's time for me to chase my dreams, and that was when I started focusing on becoming a pro wrestler.
Okay. Oh, what's this? No, no. Oh! Beautiful back elbow, beautiful back elbow.
One of the common comments, negative ones that I read a lot on social media is, wrestling is fake. Why should we support him? Why should we be proud of him? It's a whole different story if he does MMA, it's an actual sport, so on and so forth. But here's the thing though, when you compare pro wrestling and MMA, it's like comparing apples and oranges. It's two separate things altogether. I'm a performer, I'm an action performer. It's like telling Zul Arifin from SANGKAR, hey brother, you win in the movie, can lah, try go enter UFC, see what happen. So it's that. So every time when I read this comment, I just smile inside, because it's funny that people can think of it this way, when we ourselves as pro wrestler, even Booker T himself, we never claim that we are real fighters. We never claim that what we do is real fight or real combat. We are performers, and we are very open about that, and we are proud about that as well. They think it's easy. They think it's just an act. They think it's a thing that you know, like it's very easy to do. But pro wrestling is one of the toughest sports in the world, and it's actually an art form. And what we do is we use our bodies to entertain the audience. We tell a story in the form of simulative combat. The sport aspect of pro wrestling is the fact that we need to train like actual athletes, because when you get hit, it's still very impactful. You still feel a bit of pain. When you get slammed on the mat, it still hurts. It still knocks the wind out of you. You can never get used to the feeling of being slammed on the mat because it hurts. You cannot fake gravity, and there's always risk of injury. So we train like elite athletes. Like me myself, I train 6 days a week and twice a day. Having the lack of opportunities in Malaysia translates to frustration. I mean, let's be honest, like if you don't get called for jobs, you're not gonna have money. And I do believe wholeheartedly, people say that money cannot buy happiness, but in order to survive, in order to live, in order to be worry-free, you still need to have some sort of financial freedom. So you cannot get financial freedom when you're not getting jobs and you're not getting paid. So at the end of the day, it translates to frustration in the sense where, I'm a father of 2 children. I have an amazing family, and I need to feed them. I need to put food on the table and to pay the bills. Everyone has big dreams. Everyone is an artist. Everyone is a superstar, up to a point where they need to forget that and prioritize life. And when it comes to that point, when you are in between your dream and making a living for yourself, putting food for your family, paying the bills, it comes to a point where you need to decide, should I pursue my dream or should I try to stay alive? And every time when someone chooses that they need to try to stay alive, that is when this dream dies. And that's what separates me from everyone else, is the fact that I try my best to balance these two. As how difficult and how hard it is, I still manage to pay my bills, put food on the table, and at the same time chase my dreams.
Trying to copy the Prophet's move.
I think one of the proudest things that I have being part of the reality of wrestling is the fact that I'm able to represent something which is called a dream. Because from what I understand, when you dream big, people always try to put you down. When you dream big, people always make fun of you. Who would know that, a Malaysian boy born and raised in Padang Jaya, in Ampang, would eventually make it to the United States in front of, a whole bunch of crowd coming out on TV and making it to Hollywood. That's crazy. I mean, this goes to show that if you have a dream, no matter how big it is, no matter how small it is, no matter how silly it is, if you put your heart, soul, and effort 2,000% into it, you'd be able to make it. It's not impossible whatsoever. And besides that, I'm also proud to be able to represent our own culture on Hollywood TV, because I do believe that in Hollywood, people have never really seen the Malay culture, the Nusantara culture. They know about the Filipinos, they know about the Indians and the Chinese, they know about the Koreans, but our own race, the Malay race, is rarely talked about. This is one of the things that I'm proud of, the fact that I get to represent a brown Asian, I get to represent the Malay race, I get to represent the Malay culture and introduce it to Hollywood, introduce it to US TV. And it turned out to be very, very well, because my reception there is amazing. Everybody loves me. The children, they look at me like some sort of superhero with my tanja and my songket jacket. And I do believe that it will eventually grow bigger because of the momentum that I'm having right now. So it's a matter of time before the world knows who the Malays are.